Okay, here's another Trump. Oh boy, the sun's coming through my sunscreen. Here's another anti-Trump rant. Let's talk about the coming civil war. Oh, I know that sounds scary, doesn't it? I'm a student of the first Civil War. I'm a Yankee, you might guess. I was born in South Philly. We moved to the white suburbs of Washington, D.C., Wheaton, Maryland when I was 5. We moved to the white Anglo-Saxon suburbs of New Jersey. Outside where the hell were we? I guess we were west of Mountain View. I'm sorry, west of Wayne. That's probably the biggest town that you can find on a map. Mountain View was a little tiny town. There's a Route 23 there where I got hit by a car and almost killed when I was 13, but that's a story for another day. Anyhow, you don't have to believe me about what was going on in the country before the Civil War. You can smart up on that just like I did. If you look at what was going on then, the industrial urban North, diverse, inclusive, democratic, and very populous and powerful, and future-oriented, was confronted with a hind-bound, racist, slave-based South, which was clinging to a system that had already it was immoral from the start, but it had ended its usefulness. It could no longer be tolerated by the North. And so the South, being fucking idiots that they are, low education, toothless idiots, slave croppers, sharecroppers, not too many rich Southern landowners died in the Civil War. Well, at the end, when the blacks slaughtered them, liberating themselves, they did. But until that happened, toward the end, most of those fuckers weren't fighting. It was their toothless, shoeless sharecroppers who were fighting. They provided the soldiers for the Confederacy. And so what did we do? It took us a while. The Northerners were not into guns. We're not, big military people. But those bankers and accountants and secretaries, men at the time, you can Google that. It was a simpler time. Women didn't have any jobs then. Anyhow, except laying on the back and producing babies and doing laundry and shit. Anyhow, it took us a while. We lost some battles, bigly and hugely. But then Robert E. Lee got the genius idea to invade the North, and he discovered, that didn't work out so well for him outside of a little town named Gettysburg in Pennsylvania. The only downside of that battle was that after they lost, Meade, the worthless American general, rather than pursuing Lee and destroying his army and ending the Civil War then and there, he wanted to take a nap and regroup. So instead of destroying Lee, we let him get away with half of his army, the other half dead on the fields of around Gettysburg. Anyway, Lee knew and wrote afterwards in his journal, we just lost the Civil War. So God's not on our side, obviously. The idiots actually thought God was on their side because they're white evangelical Christian lunatics. Unfortunately, Lincoln, who is a great guy in a lot of ways, he ended the war prematurely. General Sherman was well on his way to burning the South to the ground and killing every last Southern Confederate and Confederate sympathizer. And the ones he didn't kill, the slaves were liberating themselves, and they were killing them for us. So, by the end, those Union armies had swelled. Hundreds of thousands of liberated blacks walked to the American lines. They gave them a pair of shoes and some food and a gun, so they could kill them some rebs. So we could have killed them all then. Had we done that, there'd be no Southern strategy for Nixon, because the South would be a liberal, black, utopian, socialist utopia. Populated by the descendants of freed slaves, but of course the idiot Lincoln, he ended the war prematurely. There are fellow citizens. We have to offer the hand of freedom, of friendship, and so those idiots lived to pass on their hate and willful ignorance to future generations. And now we're going to have to fight a civil war again, but that's okay, because this time we're not going to end it prematurely. But maybe a half a dozen really red states will secede after Trump is removed from office in disgrace, and maybe, 5% of his 35% lunatic base will take to the streets, and a couple of army units will defect. But how long is it going to take for the U.S. Army to mop up a couple of renegade units of the Army, maybe one Air Force wing, and a couple of National Guard units. Come on, what's that going to take? 2 weeks? Now, is that going to kill millions of Trump supporters? Yes, it is. Hopefully 10 million, but I'd settle for 5 million. So what do we get after we carpet bomb the red states that secede and kill all of the Trump supporters and sympathizers? What we get is no more lunatic evangelical, white evangelical Christian, right wing. No more Freedom Caucus lunatics, because they're all dead. And then we can make America great again. Okay? And I don't mean as great as it's been in the past. I mean truly great. It'll be governable. We'll have two political parties. The socialist Democrats, the socialist/communist Democrats, and the really, really liberal Democrats. And those parties will fight each election, and sometimes the socialist communist Democrats will win, sometimes the really, really liberal Democrats will win. We'll have universal health care, we'll have cradle-to-grave social programs to protect people. We'll tax the shit out of corporations, and if they lay you off, they got to pay your salary for the rest of your life or until you get another job, just like they do in socialist democracies all over the planet, Canada, all of Western Europe. So, and Japan. So it has a happy ending. It has a happy unhappy for the millions of Trump supporters who die, but for the rest of us, and a few of us will die too. But hey, war sucks. But after that's over, we will make America truly great. It'll be governable. It'll be sane. It'll become once again a world leader of the free world, instead of the disgrace that we are now, the laughingstock that we are. And all those Chinese and Russians that now are laughing their asses off as they watch Trump destroy America. Putin, who thought, boy, disrupting the American election, that was a bargain. Well, it wasn't a bargain, because it awakened we, the people, and we're going to fix this for good this time. Okay, peace out. Andrew Paul Scatino. I got a book, Why Women Are So Problematic, a memoir, an irreverent, whimsical polemic. It's probably more irreverent than whimsical, but it's definitely a polemic. Kiddies, you Google that, that means it's political. But you'll be okay. It's funny political. It's funny political. Lots of funny stuff. And sex, guys, lots of sex. Women, I say a lot of nice things about women. You'll buy the book anyway, just to make sure you don't have to hunt me down and kill me. Like, what's this idiot doing? I had to title it that because I need the guys to read it. At least we can agree, women, the guys need a lot of help. And I try to give it to them. So, have a great day. Get ready for the coming Civil War, and get your T-shirts or whatever. The Trump side, they don't even need a new flag. They can use the Confederate battle flag, which they all have in their closets anyway, or hanging on their wall, or in the back of their truck. So it's going to be great. All those Civil War reenactors already have their uniforms. We'll print up. We'll have the Koreans make a bunch of new uniforms. Ours will be blue. Hopefully the Confederates this time, maybe they'll have red uniforms. That'd be fun, wouldn't it? So it'll be the blue versus the red instead of the blue versus the gray. The gray, same outcome, only this time fought to the bitter end until we kill them all. Peace out. Peace in quotes, peace. The peace that comes from the annihilation of these lunatics. And then we will have peace in our time. Peace out.